Friends of model trains, welcome to another video in our Digital for Beginners series. In today's video I would like to show you our signal decoder 1083.7. How do you set up? How do you switch signals with the multi-MAUS, with the Z21 control app or with the Z21 ProLink? Why do you need a signal decoder? There is the switch decoder, the 1083.6, or the universal switch decoder. However, it can only switch two commands, a right-a-left switch and a red-a-green signal. But there are signals with more aspects than just two, so you need a decoder that can send out a large number of commands. And with the signal decoder you can also control multiple signals quite comfortably. As with the other decoders, the decoder is connected with a 4-pole terminal. There is the power input and the DCC input. This means that you can send the DCC signal from the control unit once and separately use an extra switching power supply for the voltage supply. Or if you only have one decoder or a few decoders, you can also bridge the whole process by taking the voltage and the switching command directly from the control unit. In this case, we have only one decoder and have therefore installed a cable bridge in the connector according to the instructions and plugged in the connector. The blue LED status light means that the decoder is ready for use. The decoder is factory set to addresses 1 to 4 because you can connect up to 4 signals. To change the address, there is a programming button at the top. It must be pressed for about 3 seconds until the programming LED starts flashing. Then you can change the address with the mouse, for example, by entering a switch address from the next group of 4. In this case, for example, the number 6. Then confirm with OK and the decoder will have the addresses 5 to 8. For the signal decoder itself, only brief connection instructions are included. Why? The German manual alone has over 30 pages. The detailed instructions for the product can be found on the Roku or Fleischmann websites as a PDF file. Enter the article number 1083.7, click the article and you will see the user manual as a PDF under Downloads. You can view it on your mobile device or print out individual pages or the entire manual if needed. Depending on the type of signal connected and the complexity of the signal aspect, you can connect 1 or 2 compound signals or up to 4 simple signals. The complete system can be programmed via the CV. How many signals does my signal decoder currently have in operation? Here we have the CV40. Here you can set 2, 3 or 4 connected signals. I will now show how this is done with the mouse or the app. To program our accessory decoder, we have to change the programming menu of the mouse to POM mode. POM means program on main, i.e. programming on the main track. Only then can you program the decoder. To do this, hold down the Shift key, press the menu key and then go to programming, confirm with OK and enter this mode. Press OK. Here I am on POM. There is CV mode and POM mode. You have to select the POM mode and press OK. With stop you come back again. To program the decoder, you must give it a pseudo-loco address. In this case we have 9837. Why? The 837 comes from the part number and the 9 in front of it sets it as the address. Hold the Shift key. Now you can enter the address directly. Confirm with OK. Now holding the Shift key again, press Menu, Programming and change CV. Now you can select CV40, press OK and can decide how many more signals should be connected. In our case, 2. Now the decoder is programmed for 2 signals. Next you have to tell the signal decoder which signal you want to connect. Various signals from Germany, Austria, Switzerland and the Netherlands are pre-configured. You have to tell the signal decoder which signal was connected. This is done via the signal ID. These can be found in the user manual or on the Z21 website. Here, an OIBB main signal is selected as an example. In the instructions, under Signal Configuration, there are now all the pre-configured signal aspects including the OIBB main signal. The signal ID 160 must be programmed into the decoder. In this case in CV41 for signal number 1. To program the selected ID of the signal, go back to the Program menu, press OK, change CV. OK. Now you need the number 41 for the signal number 1. Press OK and now enter 160. This was the ID we just picked for our signal and now confirm with OK. Now the decoder is configured for the OIBB signal. The signal ID can also be found on the Z21 website. The signal decoder must be selected under Products. There is then the item Predefined Signals. And if you scroll up here, you can see the countries. In our case, we had the Austrian signal. Then you see which Austrian signals are pre-configured. We had the main signal. Here the signal ID is displayed as well as the assignment of the terminals. This tells you which LED output has to be connected to which terminal of the decoder. The terminal assignment always starts with terminal 1. This is the red LED. But note that terminal 1 is not the first terminal. The first terminal is the common positive terminal. So terminal 1, as it is also printed, is the second connection. Therefore, it is necessary to start with the second connection. The first is always the common positive terminal of the signal. Then, according to the signal type or screen, connect the LEDs one after the other according to the instructions. In our case, the signal can have up to 8 LEDs. This means that you have to be able to switch them all individually. If you scroll down further, you can see the signal aspects and the signal switching command. One to the right is red. Now you have to scroll down. The one to the left is green. If I now want to switch other signal aspects, the next address must be selected. The two to the left, green-yellow. The two to the right. The red and the shunting signal also work. To be able to switch all the signal aspects separately, you need 4 signal addresses to be able to switch the aspects one after the other. It is easier with the new DCC extension command. What does DCC extension mean? DCC extended, this means that it is an extended DCC command. You can then send much more data with one address than with a normal DCC basic command. This allows you to send more than just the 2 switching states, right, left. With the DCC extension command you can send up to 255 switching commands. Of course, this is already possible with the Z21 control app, which I will show you now. Programming the decoder is also possible with the Z21 control app. To do this, you must connect the app to the control unit and then go to CV Programming. Here you will find the item POM Accessories, Program Accessories Decoder. Now you can program the decoder. To set the number of signals, you have to select CV40. You can also read them here. In our case, the 2 signals are already programmed. We can leave it like this or we can say no, I would like to connect 3 signals here, then set the CV and it is conveniently programmed. To enter the signal ID, simply change to CV41 using the plus button. Then you can enter 160 for the signal that has been read out. I have just read it out from the instructions. Now I go to Set CV, and have now programmed the signal decoder at output 1 for the OIB main signal. To be able to control our signal now, go to the signal box. You can select a new icon using the plus symbol. If you scroll down a bit, you can see the new Z21 signal. Here you have a pre-selection option. You can select the country from which the signal originates. Then you have the possibility to choose which signal it is. In our case, it is the main signal. You can also select the signal screen in relation to the signal screen in the real signal. The signal aspect can then also be adjusted accordingly in the app. The app shows which LED must be connected to which terminal of the decoder via the Show Terminal Assignment label. Then you add the signal and the app adds the signal to the selection menu. Select this one and put it here. Then you can click on the signal and there is a gear wheel at the bottom for the selection options. Here you have the option of further adjusting the signal, as not every signal in the model can display all signal aspects. Not all LED are available or switchable everywhere. For example, the green LED in the middle may be missing, so you don't need that signal aspect. I therefore remove the tick and can adapt the signal more individually in order to only have the switching commands displayed that my signal can also switch. When you have done all that, you press Save and go back. If you open the signal box and enlarge it a little, you can switch a signal and you have the option to select the signal aspect. If you then want to switch to green and realize that this is not possible, you have forgotten to adjust the signal address. Therefore, go back to the signal box and click the signal again, then click the gear wheel symbol and give the signal the address 1. Because our signal has the address 1 in this case. Then you have to save and go back to press play. Enlarge the screen to see the selection box. If you repeat the process now, you will see that it works with address 1. You can now jump directly from one signal aspect to another signal aspect that you want. You no longer have to switch through the signal aspects one after the other, but can, for example, switch from a stop signal to slow speed. I can jump directly to the desired signal aspect and all with this one address via this DCC extended command. If you now want to connect another signal, you have to reprogram the outputs. In our case, we still have an HL signal. We can connect it and see what happens. Now we have connected a signal and you can see that the signal aspect fits. But the LED arrangement is different, of course. When you switch to red, you have red. There is no white, because the signal does not have the same display as the OIB signal. Now the signal is reprogrammed. I will now show you how to do that. To enter the new signal ID, go to the Z21 website. Click on Products, on the Signal Decoder, Predefined Signal Types, and select Germany in this case. Then you search for the German Reichsbahn HL signal. Now you can see the signal ID 221 up here. We now have to program this. We are connected to the Z21, go back to CV Programming, EPOM Accessories. We would like to reprogram CV41 with the 160 and the OIBB signal to the 221. For this, we set the CV and our decoder is already reprogrammed. Now I want to control the signal. So go back to the signal box, select a Z21 signal via plus. In this case, however, Germany and the HL signal. There are different display options. First, you have to see how many LEDs the signal has and what it can display. In this case, the lower LEDs are not connected to the additional display. So we can use the signal without light strips. Here you can again display the cable assignment and add the signal. This is then set in the app. Click it, go back to the gear wheel, and now you can adjust the address. And here, too, you can specify which signal aspects the signal should display. Which LEDs are actually represented on my signal? Do I really need all the signal aspects? Afterwards, save and go back to the control menu and enlarge it again. You now have the signal and see that there are many signal aspects. So you can switch from red to yellow, for example, and I see that the yellow should flash, and it does. For comparison, here we have the OIBB signal from earlier. A green LED is now lit and we see that the signal image matches our HL reach span signal. And if you would like to have the green that flashes or the green that lights up, you can adjust that. So our signal matches the signal aspect in the app. There is another possibility for even easier and faster programming, and that is with the Z21 ProLink. I will now show you how to do that. To use the ProLink, connect the ProLink cable to the ProLink and the other end to the Z-Link interface on the signal decoder. If you do not have a Z21 or if you want to program the decoder when it is not installed, you can power the ProLink via a USB power supply. To do this, I can remove the voltage supply from the decoder and connect a micro USB cable to the ProLink. If you then also supply this with power, you can see that the ProLink supplies the decoder with voltage. This means that the decoder can be programmed when it is removed or even without a digital control unit. You can also easily program the decoder for another digital control unit. We now see the LED status light flashing. This is not an error. The decoder is simply telling us that there is no DCC signal because no digital control unit is connected. This is not a problem for the programming of the decoder. To program the decoder with the ProLink, use the arrow keys to go to Settings, confirm with the middle key and scroll down with the arrow keys and directly enter how many signals you want to connect. 2, 3, or 4. Now it is confirmed that only 2 signals are connected. Now I want to program signal number 1 and can make my selection here. Which country is my signal from? I confirm the Austrian signal, for example. Now the pre-installed signals for Austria are displayed. You can select a specific signal and have the decoder programmed very quickly in plain text. For those for whom the display is too small, the ProLink can also be connected to the Wi-Fi. This means that you can log into the ProLink with the Z21 app to do the programming work via a larger screen. Here is the Z21 Control app. If you click on Settings, there is the Z21 link item, and after clicking on it, the signal decoder comes up. If it does not appear immediately, update the devices once and it should be visible. Then click the signal decoder and now you can see the menu. What I just had on the ProLink in small text, you can see much larger here. Now you can click on Settings again, and here you can see our configuration for the signal decoder. You can select how many signals you want to connect, 2, 3 or 4, and you can decide here which signal should be programmed. Signal 1, 2 or 3, in our case the first connected signal. I select the country that my connected signal is from and determine via configuration which signal or signal screen is connected. With this, the signal decoder is programmed in plain text, without having to look at a CV. I'll show you a third example. You want to operate not only H0 signals, but also N-track, TT or 0 signals. No problem. In this case, we select Germany and the main signal again, and now we have already programmed our decoder again. Now you can also display the selection visually in the app. To do this, go to the signal box, click the plus symbol, and then click again on the Z21 signal. A quick tip: the Z21 signal only works with the Z21 signal decoder. Germany and the main signal are selected. The main signal has a relatively large number of signal screens. You can search through all of them and, in our case, it is the 1969 type. You can also display the terminal assignment. Which LED must be connected to which terminal of the signal decoder? If you want to insert the signal, you can add it here. Click once, select the gear wheel and adjust the address. In our case it is the address 1. And here you can also determine which signal aspects are displayed. Which signal aspect can my signal display? You can save that again. And then we go back once to select the signal box and enlarge it. If we now select a signal, we can switch to green, for example. But we see that the signal does not switch. Why? The control unit is not connected. To control the signal via the app, the control unit must be connected to the track. Now the digital control unit is connected again. If the signal aspect is changed now, you can see that the signal is working. You can now switch through the signal aspects directly and decide which signal you want to have. So the signal is switched to red, and with the red signal I would also like to say goodbye to you. This ends today's video. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.